Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another stream, Habibis. We are here to talk all things Liverpool today. My lovely, incredible, amazing people. Love to every single one of you guys. Please do make sure you guys are slapping the like button. Do make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel if you're yet to do so. All of these guys' channels will be in the description as well. So make sure you guys go subscribe to them too. So please like the video. On your way in, there's already 200 people in here. Let's get to 50 likes, 100 likes ASAP. This is going to be one hell of a show. Love to every single one of you guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that type of good stuff. You get me? And we're here. Apologies if I suddenly start celebrating because Jordan are playing Kuwait in the World Cup qualifiers. It's in the background right there. So I'm just watching it. You get me? Before I introduce the people and everyone that's joining me, let me give you guys the latest update from Colombia. This is the latest update.
Husam me escribió y me menciona en los videos, dice, es como celebrando por mí o conmigo, no sé, dice el calvo colombiano, así que esperen eso, lo van a escuchar. Quiero saludarlos, si me permiten. Hi Husam, I know a lot of Colombians probably don't like you because of your controversial views. I respect your opinions. I think today or in the videos for these two goals, you're reasonable. So I appreciate that because sometimes you go into an extreme, which I guess it works for you because your channel is doing really well. But I just wanted to say, we can become channel friends. That's fine. We can respect each other's opinion. Best of luck with your channel. We'll talk soon. Y bueno, suscríbanse, denle like al video. Los dejo con el video.
Shout out to the streets of Bogota, Colombia. Big up my Colombian people, you get me? I'm going to get rushed in that country if I ever make the trip. I'll be sorry with you. Anyway, let me introduce today's panelists. First and foremost, the biggest fraud, the biggest top red on the planet. You get me? I've converted him. He was on the dark side. He has now joined the light. He's the biggest posh bastard out of everyone on the stream today. You get me? One day in Monaco, one day in Paris, one day in Lisbon. Just, one of those guys. You get me? But we all love him regardless. Man like Raks is in the building. Hi, Raks. You good, brother?
Hello.
Just happy stream for once.
I had some technical difficulties, but managed to make it here just in time to celebrate. First time in a long time, especially on this channel, a Liverpool victory against none other than the most detestable team in the world, our arch rival, Manchester United. So I'm very happy to be here and very happy to break it down. So thanks for inviting me on, Husam. You owe me after all the pain you put me through all those times coming on here. But I'm very pleased to be here. So thanks.
One of the other members as well of the Liverpool Book Club, of Liverpool Therapy, of all the fucking painful streams known to mankind. He was there throughout all the pain. I've reached out to him a couple of times as well, but we kind of couldn't just get a stream sorted in terms of time and availability. But he's here today as well. You get me? Klopp's biggest hater, Diaz's biggest fan. So he's enjoying himself right now. Man like JJ, Jerry is in the building. How are you doing, Jerry, man? On mute, Jerry. On mute, Jerry.
Look. First of all, guys, apologies. I'm on mute. I haven't streamed in a long time, so for me, this is nosebleed settings, of course. Jumping on this is football. Or should I call it Don and Sam's channel now? It's a big thing, but obviously, I'm happy, man. I'm happy. Liverpool playing well. Finally look like a professional team, man. Like when you see a bit of structure. I look at certain things in football and I'm like, well, I couldn't do that without having training. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't really set us up like that. So. Nice. It's good to see. Obviously, beating United was a massive, in the way we did it as well, was a massive plus for me, especially for Slot's tenure. And yeah, man, I'm happy to obviously be on the stream with you guys and be in a more positive sphere as opposed to last season or a couple of seasons back where it got rough. It got rough. We're in the gulag. But yeah, big up to everyone, man. I appreciate it. Obviously you having me on.
Big up. Andrea Perlo from Wish is here, ladies and gentlemen. You get me? Forest fan in disguise. Everyone said F this guy. I think I just don't know why. He has a bunch of haters on the stream. However, I do think that me and him will be on the similar sides of argument. You get me? Andrea Perlo, aka Ram, is in the building. How do you, Ram, man?
Hey, man. What's up, man? Been a long time. The last time I came here was the Southampton Southampton 4-4. Yeah, I love you too, JJ, man. My bro. Love you too. But yeah, that game, that was the last time I came on this channel. And a lot's happened then.
Welcome back, brother. Welcome back.
Yeah. Finally got the invite, innit?
Yeah. I do invite you, but you do bottle it, to be fair, so it's not my fault. And last but not least, I cannot believe I'm about to introduce this guy on a show. Like, I genuinely cannot believe I'm about to introduce this guy on a show. And there is no better way to introduce him than infamously.
By the way, can I just say, the two girls below us are looking 16 out of 10s today, both of them.
Hello, Raiyaan. How are you doing, my brother?
Is what it is. Is what it is. You know, you didn't need, there's unnecessary. We're here to talk about our beautiful football club. And you're busy pulling back tweets, clips from like that, innit? It is what it is. Is what it is. I'll be the bigger person here.
All right.
Now, but in all seriousness, man, and big up for inviting me. Raks, been a long time. Good to see you again, my brother. Hope you're all good. JJ, good to stream with you as well, my bro. Fuck you, Ram. Yeah, and yeah, big up everyone in the comments. Like, subscribe, people. You know what it is. And yeah, thanks for the invite, bro. Appreciate it.
Big up to you. Big up to you. Big up to Wouter, who says, my dad's girlfriend is from Colombia. Don't do too much or I can never mention your name over there. Big up to you all. Bro, listen, big up to the bald Colombian. You get me? I mentioned him as part of my celebrations. I said, listen, do this 15 more times, Habibi, and we will apologize. No apologies come after 2 games. That's not how football operates, to be honest with you. However, I'm glad that this is happening and we can finally get to the stage where he's actually being clinical in front of goal. That's what we all wanted, bro. Listen, I want what's best for Liverpool. I'm not an agenda merchant, so yeah, shout out to her though. Say hi to her from me. Big up to yeah, that's a country that's off the bucket list. I can't visit that country anymore. خلاص, it's been all flights to Bogota have been cancelled for me. So yeah, they're gonna rush me. Big 3 obviously want to stay. Club better not bottle it, is what my guy Redline Taranga says. And listen, we'll be discussing this as well as the stream progresses. Big up to you, Redline Taranga. Big up to you, Wouter. Let's just get this party started. Shout out to every single one of you absolute incredible icons on the chat. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff. And we have to start with a bald man. Not Ram, because he's balding. But we're gonna start with a bald man. Arne Slot. Before we get to Diaz, before we get to Mo, before we get to any of that, we've got to start with Arne Slot. And I'm going to go to a guy who was tired of the Klopp era the most on YouTube, the most vocal about it to start. And as you guys know, you've all been on the channel before. It's kind of open floor settings, you get me? There's no red carpets. But I do want to start it all with Jerry. You get me, man, like Jerry. Go ahead, brother. Talk to me. What do you think of the Slot era so far? Arne Slot, wherever you want to go with it.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. I think I speak for everyone when I say we didn't really know who this manager was. He came in with no clout, no aura, as some kids want to say. We didn't know anything about him. So when he's come in, it was a fresh slate, but it will be fair to say a lot of fans would have been a bit apprehensive with this guy's coming in. What are his credentials? What has he done? Yeah, we know what he did at Feyenoord. But in the Liverpool space, Amorim was number 1 or 2. Xabi Alonso was number 1. For some people, Klopp was number 1, as in they still wanted to go and keep Klopp. Especially considering what we did last season, you couldn't really begrudge anyone if they wanted to keep Klopp, considering finished 3rd and no one really expected it. But for me, he's come in and the way he's addressed certain situations, the way he's handled, from things like player contracts, not having their players on side yet, to obviously having the Euros and not, do you know what I mean? And that whole palaver surrounding players coming back, he's dealt with it fantastically well. Pre-season went as good as you probably wanted it to, especially considering the amount of rotations we were making. And then the start of the season, you've got 3 games, 3 clean sheets. What's that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goals? Perfect. Like, as in, that's what I would look at as a coach. If I looked at it and said we got 3 clean sheets and we won those games and every game was comfortable in its own right, if you were to look at it from a certain aspect, then he's done fantastically well. And You know, there's a lot of questions about Liverpool getting a 6, Liverpool not having this centre back, Liverpool not having a left back. And despite all of that, he's just performing. He's doing his job currently. And I'm not getting too overly gassed about what he's done. But looking at the sample size, and everyone's played the same amount of games so far, pound for pound, he's done the best job so far. And I wouldn't have expected that necessarily, considering it's been his first season. So I'm really, really happy. I think seeing the differences between Klopp and Slot, especially the professionalism in which Liverpool play now, for me, is something that I'm so happy to watch. The fact that we're controlling games, we might not even have the most possession, but we're watching it as Liverpool fans, and we're not worried about losing a game. We're not 3 goals up, 2-0 up, sitting on the edge of our seats thinking, "Oh my God, it could end up 4-2," and it won't be. It might be to Liverpool. It could be to someone. It could be to United, especially if we were to look at that game. So I'm uber happy. I like his demeanor. I like the way he's gone about things. And yeah, long may it continue, man. Long may it continue. Of course, only 3 games, so it could go tits up. We don't know, but from what I've seen,
it's good.
He's a top operator, and I think that's what Liverpool needed. So FSG, props to you on that one. I give it to them on that one. On that one. I've done it to Husam. Look.
Lads, what do you guys make of Arne Slot and what Jerry said as well?
In terms of him, I knew a little bit about him, mainly through Feyenoord, because of that team with like Kirkchu, Senesi, Pedersen, Jimenez. That team, I remember they played some decent football, obviously won the league title for the 2nd time this century. But again, I was a bit apprehensive with him because he's not Jurgen Klopp. I don't think he was at the level or shown anything to be on that level with Jurgen Klopp, the same stature that he had at Dortmund. But a lot of the stuff I've seen, I was like, all I needed was someone to have a style that was not too dissimilar to Klopp, but is able to get the best out of our players. And I've got to say fair play to Hughes and Michael Edwards, because that was the guy that they said, look, this is the guy. People have been saying Ruben Amorim. We have to remember that they turned him down. Amorim was happy to come to us, but the fact that his style of play was just a little bit different and he wasn't willing to change it, that's why we ended up not letting him go. The only one that I say someone that actually rejected us was Xabi Alonso.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy, he's coming, and I don't want to put like tags on him just yet, but he's got a little bit of Rafa that is so refreshing to see. I haven't seen it in a very, very long time, but he's got that element of Rafa, that coldness, but also the demand of his players. I think with Klopp, you got the whole, you're like the big best friend, the big friendly giant that was in the change room. With this guy, he's like, no nonsense. I demand the best, and I expect the best from you every single day of the week. And it's refreshing to see. And he doesn't like to mollycoddle things. He likes to say how it is. Even in the transfer window, when it was refreshing to hear someone say, I'm expecting 2 players to come in this window, or I'm expecting players to come in. If I don't, then we'll just have to see how it is. And it's refreshing to hear stuff like that. And it's refreshing to hear someone demand a lot of the football club. Because I think with Klopp,
it's very Dutch, you know, like just saying it as it is in the press conferences and shit like this, like from the days of Van Gaal. Like it's such a Dutch thing, you know, like you just go out there and just say it, no bullshit, no nonsense. He was talking when he was talking about the first game. He was like, it wasn't just because who was it that he said was shit? It wasn't because Kwanzaa was shit. Everyone else was shit too.
He said. I think he was at Gravenberg. I think he was saying
Gravenberg.
Gravenberg.
Yeah, sorry.
He done well, but if Gravenberg was, if everyone else was shit, then Gravenberg would have been shit. Kind of thing.
Yeah,
just kind of this.
That's what he said.
And it's not even that. It's like also with him, it's the fact that the demand that he has for the whole standards of the football club. I didn't want the standards to drop. But for thankfully with this guy, he expects the standards to be just as high. And the one thing is, it ties in with what the club's all about, bringing young players. He's doing that, the likes of Trey Nioni. Obviously, he's got Conor Bradley, Joe Quansah in there, got a lot of faith in them. And the style of football as well, like, is not too dissimilar to Klopp, but it's still a winning type of football. It's calculating, it's different. It makes oppositions think about us a bit more. And that just makes us better as a football club. So I've been very, very impressed with him. Very, very impressed.
Raks, Raiyan, what's going on, man?
Yeah, so
I was being
Yeah, they
polite,
want red
man.
carpets. They know how we operate
no,
here.
no, okay. So I'm still forming my opinion on Slot. All I can say is to date, I'm sure we all are. So maybe that's it's not a stupid, crazy thing to say, but Jurgen Klopp's obviously very much a larger than life character, right? He was that Shankly type figure, and everyone loved him. Everyone kind of went along with the ride. He swept up Liverpool, and we were all kind of with him. And I guess if you want to draw parallels, this is maybe someone who's slightly more understated, but comfortable enough in his own skin, that he can make his own decisions. He's his own man, like a Bob Paisley. Maybe not as inspiring in terms of talking to media, especially. But again, like I don't always think that a change is a bad thing. Maybe it was just from a human point of view, that some of these players who'd been, like Trent, for example, who'd been with Klopp since day one, right, for 9 years. Sometimes having a change, having a bit of a different voice, having different instructions, being asked different things of each other, that's a good thing. And we all get bored, right? We all get bored. These players are human beings. Maybe they got a little bit stale under Jurgen, and that's not a knock on Jurgen. That's just a human thing in terms of the players. So a change isn't necessarily a bad thing. I very much hope it does become a Bob Paisley type situation, because obviously Shankly arguably built Liverpool Football Club, but Paisley ended up being his most successful ever manager. And I think all of us would be happy, and no one looks down on Shankly because of that, and everyone holds up Paisley for those very reasons as well. So look, I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm obviously beating United is incredible. Anyway, anytime you beat United, especially when you humiliate them on their own patch, that's great. But he's come in. He's his own man, and he's tweaked things, but he's changed things. He hasn't gone crazy like Ram said, and decided that he wants to play solely counter-attacking football. There is some aggressiveness there, but I think the best Liverpool football club that I saw under Jurgen was the year we won the league, and the year that Thiago came in, and
the year we almost won the
we just control games much more. And if we can get that balance right, and not be so open, we've got the attacking firepower to go up against anybody in this league and anybody in Europe. So yeah, positive so far. It's early days. United are shit. I'm happy they're shit. But no.
It's funny, Raks, because you mentioned essentially giving Slot props without shitting on Klopp. There is a guy on the stream who hasn't spoken yet. I just want to see if he keeps the same energy today, because I'm not gonna allow him to keep PG energy now and then in my chat, go like, oh my god, Klopp was so crap and shit like this. So you better say it. Anyone else want to switch off their camera while we're at it? Ram, we're going for a shit. You as well, Raks. Go ahead, Raiyaan. Talk to me. Yes, say it. What do you think of Slot so far? Say it with your chest. Don't be shy. Don't worry, I don't bite. We want to hear it. See, even the chat want to hear it. So, just tell me.
No, you can't really find wrong criticism of him so far. I don't think he could have made a more perfect start than what he has done, to be honest, bro. Like, what is it? 7 goals scored, non-conceded, 3 wins out of 3, a win away to your biggest rivals. You can't get better than that. And I think you're all right when you said that. When we first heard he was probably coming and he was our main target as manager, you're all like a bit underwhelmed. I think I'd only really heard of him from when he was linked with the Tottenham job the year before. He got linked with that. Out. Pardon?
Husam wanted him out.
Yeah, I remember, bro. I remember. Don't worry. But that's all I'd heard of him really was when Tottenham were in for him the year before. But yeah, I was a bit underwhelmed. I was definitely willing to give him a chance, but I was underwhelmed. But listen, bro, like I stand by. I think we needed a change, 100%. Like, and this is not me shitting on Klopp. Remember when I'm saying this about
Well,
Klopp,
that's
I'm
not
saying
what you
Klopp.
say in the chat. I just
No,
want you to repeat what you say in the
I'm
chat.
saying
That's it.
Klopp. If you look back at what I've put in the chat, look at what I've put Klopp the last 2 seasons. I'm not talking about Klopp the whole of his tenure at Liverpool because he was a fucking brilliant manager for us. Excuse the language, sorry. He's a brilliant manager for us. A legend for this football club. But the last 2 years, in my opinion, I don't think he's been the same. Anywhere near the same as what he was, in my opinion. You just have to look at the way we've played in the last 2 years. For me, I put a lot of it down to him, and I don't think it was good enough, in my opinion. And I think a change was right. I agree, it got too stale. Honestly, the way we play football, the way we just be too easy to play against as well, too easy to get through, too easy to score against. Honestly, it was a shambles at time last 2 years, especially the 22-23 season. And last year was better, but it still wasn't great. Let's be honest with ourselves. It wasn't great at all. You know, there are a lot of games that, you know, there were games where we didn't play well, but, you know, ended up getting a result and eventually just caught up with us. So a change was definitely needed, in my opinion. And the football we've played in the first 3 games has been so impressive, man. So impressive. I mean, you know, the way we've controlled games, which I think is the most effective way of winning the league nowadays. I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but I'm saying that is the most effective way of doing it. That's how City and Arsenal play, and they're 2 teams that have been better than us the last 2 years at the end of the day. And that's how they play. And this end-to-end chaos football, in my opinion, is not going to beat those 2 teams to a league title. That's the thing. And
It's funny
I
you
think
mentioned that, but the last time, the only guy to beat Pep to a league title until this very second is Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, but you have to look at that team we had as well. Like that, yeah, obviously, of course. But I can't lie. I think we were more controlled back then than what we were the last 2 years, in my opinion. More controlled, man.
I think
Our
the year.
structure and shape was way better than what it has been last 2 years.
Listen, the
Let's
year
just be
that we
real.
finished 5th, you would be right, because like obviously we were doing Liverpool therapy back in that time and stuff, and obviously we did talk about the system and the style and all of this.
No, spot on,
But I
man.
think that was more down to personnel, because they shamelessly came out and said we don't need a midfielder, then sold
No,
7
but let's be
midfielders
honest.
and bought
Klopp's
4.
tactics that year were bad, bro. They were
Yes.
bad.
I think the biggest problem with Klopp over the last 2 years is not even his tactics, it's his loyalty. It's his trust in the players that aren't good enough, in my opinion, that let him down over the last 2 years. Because when it comes to style and system, I don't think that Pep's blueprint is the blueprint that everyone should follow. I don't think that Arteta's blueprint is the blueprint that everyone should follow. That chaos ball had a stop of the league. We had the highest XG in the league, the most chances. We had an XG of 7 point something in a game of football against Newcastle.
Yeah.
Our football was incredible. So when you say stuff like, obviously in the comment section, you're like, oh, the football was putrid under Klopp.
It wasn't
in the last
good
2 years.
Last 2 years, it wasn't.
No,
It
but
wasn't.
do what it is
Last
though,
year, I don't
Husam.
think he was.
It wasn't
The year
good.
But you know
before,
what?
okay.
The problem you've got though is you can have that chaos ball, and I think in certain games, especially when you're coming up against like a City, I think we proved it even when we were finishing 4th and 5th, we can still go and beat these teams because they find it awkward to play against. But when you look at something that's sustainable over 38 games, we had to be nigh on perfect, where we had last minute winners, and Trent was doing their madness, and Salah got a ridiculous amount of goals, and Robertson got a ridiculous amount of assists. That's not sustainable, because as soon as Trent drops off in terms of, instead of getting 20 assists, he gets 10, which is still really, really good. You're not able to go and provide that. I think the proof's in the pudding. The reason why City have been able to go and win, of course, they've got a massive war chest, but it's the way in which they control games. And some fans might find it and think, oh, you know what, it's really, really boring as a fan or as a neutral. Ultimately, they win games, and as soon as they go 1-0 up, every fan in the country is like, well, all right, that's the game done. And I think Liverpool need to get to a point where it's like that with Arsenal. Even the other day when they faced who did they face? Brighton, where they went and they scored, and all of a sudden you just kind of knew, all right, well, they're going to get the second now, and after that they're not going to concede at all. And that was obviously, and so that was the game before, but obviously they came back against Brighton with 10 men. Liverpool need to be in that ether. We can't be a club that's like gung-ho like Brentford, but it can score a lot of goals but concede as well. That doesn't make any sense. There needs to be some sort of control, and we have to sacrifice looking good and having this exciting football like Gary Neville likes to talk about all the time, if we want to go and win multiple
Jerry,
trophies.
I'll tell you why I'll defend Klopp.
I feel that.
Give me just 1 second. Let me just say one thing. The reason why I defend Klopp is last season in the running, I'm talking about, in the running. And I had this debate with Raiyan before, and it'll be interesting to hear you guys' thoughts. The 3 games that cost us the league are Man United, Man City, and Crystal Palace. And those 3 games, we were the much better team. We created all the dangerous chances, but we did not take them. I'll give you the example. We just beat United at Old Trafford 3-0, right? We just beat them 3-0. Diaz of last season is not taking that chance, and that has nothing to do with system or style or whatever. Maybe it's confidence. Maybe you guys are right in terms of they're hearing a new voice. Maybe like hearing a new voice has changed them. Maybe, maybe finishing practice, whatever it is. But the first half against Man United last season at Old Trafford, we could have been 5-0 up in one half. We could have been 5-0 up in one half alone, never mind the whole game. So my thing is, when I look at those games, we were better against Man City, we were better against Man United, we were better against Crystal Palace. Slot, Klopp, whatever it is. If listen, in the Crystal Palace game
was a shambles.
We missed about 5 tap-ins in that game and the 1-on-1.
And Palace my point is 3-0 up in the first half.
Okay, the next game against Nottingham Forest, Raiyan, I ask you a simple question. If we create 5 1-on-1s and we miss them all, is the game and we lose or we draw, is that Slot's fault?
No. It depends. No, it depends though how we've played in the
and
game.
That's my point.
No, but Husam,
was bad. That was a bad one, bro.
But think about it though. Just on the flip side, right? You're right. It's not Slot's fault if we create 5 gilt-edged chances and you have Nunes up front that misses all the chances. Of course, that's not the manager's fault. But the amount of chances you can see though on your goal and enable you to lose those games or to drop points in those games, that's on the setup and that's on the manager. Because I've seen Sam Allardyce set up teams where they've got no striker. Or I've seen, flipping. I remember, I think it was Patterson or Peterson or whatever. It was at Cardiff. They had a right back playing up front. Mikel Antonio was a right back. They slapped him up front, and they were able to just get results and grind out a result. And you drawing a game is a difference between you gaining a crucial point and not losing a game. For instance, against Brighton, Liverpool would have probably lost that game. With Klopp, if we were in Arsenal's position and had conceded against Brighton, we would have went gung-ho and maybe scored 2, but would have conceded 4. And that happened regularly. So in those games, I think we need to look back and see what XG were we conceding. We had a 5-6 XG in terms of expected goals, and none of our forwards scored because they were moving out bozos. But how many were we conceding? How many times were a team just running on our defense with no structure in place? And it was like Szoboszlai was on the right wing because he was covering Trent, and Trent's in the center, but he's not tracking back. That was so apparent.
But Jerry, if your argument is defensive, I agree with you. Because we are more defensively solid under Slot. I agree with that. That's not something I will deny at all. And I cannot deny that. But going forward, my problem is the revisionism. Because I feel like that's the same Luis Diaz that scored those 2 goals, missed them last season at Old Trafford, missed them at home against Man City. So I'm saying, like, listen, finishing, we can never blame the manager for finishing. Whether it's Slot, Klopp, Brendan Rodgers, whoever. I expect the player to take the chance. I expect Diaz to deliver, Mo to deliver, whoever it is. I cannot go like, Jurgen Klopp's fault that we missed 5 tap-ins at home to Crystal Palace. I hear where everyone's coming from in terms of defensively, because that's your most solid argument. Obviously, new voice coming, tactically set up defensively and stuff like that. I think that's a lot better. We aren't conceding as many chances, which is why you guys' point is not a crazy thing to say. My only thing to say back is I feel like people are doing too much disrespect on Jurgen Klopp in the way of praising like Arne Slot, and these same players that let us down last season, to an extent, are delivering right now. And who is shocked here about Konate's quality as a centre back? None of us. We all know how good the guy is, but he's always injury prone. So now again, God forbid, when eventually Konate gets injured, and now he has to play Kwanzaa again. Does Kwanzaa lose the duels and make us more defensively susceptible, as an example? So these are all the conversations that we have to unpack.
But by the way, I just want to say on this, we still have to remember this is Klopp's team. This is not Arne Slot's team.
Yeah.
Like you use the best example I'd say is when Rafa Benitez first came. That wasn't his team. Yeah, he had Alonso and Garcia, had a little bit of sprinkling of Rafa. It was Gerard Houlier's team at the end of the day. Like the majority of the players that played that Champions League final were Gerard Houlier's. And it'll be the same thing. If we end up going to a Champions League final or winning a big trophy this season, it will be known as Klopp's team because Klopp was the one that built this team. And it's just that Arne Slot is the manager that's giving them a different direction. So the overall quality of the
there's a
players
couple
in
of
this
things-
team is
Go on.
No, I was going to say
There's
the
a couple
overall
of-
quality of players of this team is all Klopp's. It's all down to Klopp's. But Slot is the guy that's getting the best out of them.
I think there's a couple of things when we look back and analyze last season. I think it's one where you can look back and say we lost the league because of the points we dropped against City and against United and against Palace. But I think that kind of analysis is not really ideal because there were a number of other games where it was touch and go.
Palace away,
and so
that's an example.
In a way, those games they fell for us badly. But there could have been other games that maybe we got a little bit lucky in. And look, football's a game of fine margins, right? It's not a game like basketball where you score so much that each point matters less. You score one goal, you can win a game, right? So just by statistically, by its very nature, it's a low scoring game. And the other thing is, like I said, the best Liverpool teams that I saw under Klopp, the year we won the league. I mean, it was the same kind of thing. We get a goal ahead, and then you remember we used to do that circulation. The ball used to go from Fabinho to Henderson to Trent back into Henderson, just left and right, probing. Take our time. We already won the goal ahead. We have draw the opposition onto us and then hit them and then score. Or if we're keeping them under pressure, we wouldn't even let them get into our. Our defense was playing a high line, and we still are to some extent, but. We controlled it so much that it was almost like they weren't going to get a chance. And when the year we were going for the quadruple, when Thiago came in, I thought Thiago was fantastic. And
he was incredible.
Yeah, that season
we lost out by fine margins because we were going for 4 trophies. But it's only really in the last 7 or 8 games we started looking really leggy. So just the fact that we had that control, it got us so far. It didn't get us over the line fully, but it bodes well that if we can keep this kind of control, then towards the end of the season, hopefully we can be there fighting for all the major honours. That's what we want.
Yes.
Because we know that if you have this gung-ho style, you've got to pay at some point, right?
Yeah.
And more likely than not, it's going to be the end of the season which is the business end of the season, when fatigue and injuries and all this kind of stuff starts setting in. So, good start. Let's take it from here.
But a couple of points for Sam, bro. Like with Klopp last 2 years, bro. People forget we conceded the first goal in games. In the majority, so many games for 2 seasons straight, bro. You cannot tell me that's not a coaching issue. That is a huge coaching issue. When you are conceding the first goal that many times in games, that's because you're starting off games badly and he's not setting up the team right. For 2 seasons straight, conceding the first goal is a massive coaching issue. And also, you speak about the attack.
Yeah, but we didn't play well against Ipswich in the first half. You could argue we weren't that good against Brentford in the first half. We didn't concede, yes, but we didn't play well in those first 2 halves.
We looked more solid defensively than what we did under Klopp, though.
This is also why I think we need to temper it a little bit. We need to temper it a little bit.
You see the extreme. You see the problem I have, Raks. It's the extreme.
Create against us in the first half, though. What chances did they create?
Raiyan does have a point in the sense of
what chances?
We're not as exposed on transition as much as we used to be. The only time we've actually been exposed defensively is through set pieces.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is a big issue I have because I don't think we need to commit as many players forward because our team is already massive. So I don't think we need to have too many people in the box.
I agree.
But in terms of transition,
but you guys' point, like, thank you, Mr. Dare I say it, it's a bit overused. Like, it's not like we conceded first in every single game as well. By the way, double is in the chat for my guy, Josh. I'll get to the super chats in a bit, but make sure you guys are liking the video. Thank you, Josh. Double is in the chat for him. I think the point of conceding first is a little bit overdone, don't you guys think? We could have conceded first against Ipswich.
It's not.
We could have easily conceded first against Ipswich. Let's not lie. We really could.
To an extent,
I know just about those numbers. We just need to be careful about numbers because that guy, only 4 games, right? But 4 games is 10% of a season.
Critical.
Yeah. So you just like people will say whatever numbers you use in football, you just need to be a little bit careful because 10% of games is a big difference, right? If you don't get those 10% right, all of a sudden that could be the different. That could be 10 points.
Yeah. it's also important. You got to use context as well, because again, with the times that we've conceded first, I could say quite a lot of them was down to transition, but some of them were down to our stupidness at the back. Like the Bournemouth game, I remember we did some absolute stupidity playing out from the back. And that's just down to individual personnel just not concentrating. I can't blame the manager for a defender not knowing how to pass a ball.
I think the biggest problem Klopp had towards the end was having to play a different style because football was moving on from what he did originally. As in, what he would try to go and do just wouldn't work anymore. So when you've now got a McAllister in the midfield and you've got a Szoboszlai, and you got the Thiago in there or whoever, you're having a quality of player or technical ability that to not use that, you'd be silly not to. So you have to try and, I guess, play in a certain way. And I think that was, I don't want to use the word alien, but I'm going to use it anyway. Alien towards Pep Lijnders and Klopp, where they had played a certain style of football that was all about being really, really intense. And, Trent in his interview with Gary Neville discussing that, we were told to just get the ball forward as quickly as possible, back to front, press
but
really
it did
high.
Work though, don't you think it worked?
No, of course it did until it didn't. And I think that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. Towards the end, it didn't. Hence why we started doing overloads with Trent coming into midfield, so we could have packed them in midfield out a bit more.
That's true.
We may have not liked it, and we may have complained as fans saying, why is Trent not as a normal right back? But that was in order to gain control, because if you look at the percentage of Liverpool's possession, 60 to 70% of the time, Liverpool have got the ball. So if Liverpool have got the ball 60 to 70% of the time, they need to go and make sure they can control games. And I think Liverpool didn't do that as well as some of the other teams in the league. And I think Arsenal and City did that way better than Liverpool. Liverpool's control was always about, can we go and outpress you? But as soon as teams start to figure out, and this happens in football, there's new ideas come about, teams start to figure out how to beat the press. You've got to be a bit more creative about how you go and press. And I think Sotman spoke about with United and United last season and this season, saying that last season they went and pressed with 4, now they're only pressing with 2 forwards, and that's come as a result of teams packing out the midfield and having loads of players in midfield, which means that if you try press with 3 or 4, you're leaving yourself exposed in the middle. So it's all those things that are just coming into play. And I think Klopp realised himself, you know what, this is it's going to take a lot out of me, because he's been in football for what, 20, 30 years. You know what I mean? If you don't move with the times as Pep has done, you start to look a bit old school, and you go and look at all the old school managers. And 5-6 years ago, there were probably great managers for your likes of Wolves and everyone to pick up if they want to stay in the Premier League. Now these managers aren't getting any games at all.
And made everything that you say actually true. You know what bit him in the ass? 2 things: talent ID and loyalty. Talent ID and loyalty destroyed him royally in the last 2 years. I'll be so honest with you. In the year before, the shittest season, the 5th place season, that was all about loyalty. He was too loyal to the midfielders.
Tactically as well.
In all the interviews and said, "Oh, why do we need the midfielder?" Blah blah blah. And then he sold 7 of them in one summer. So he knew deep down. The year after, it was just the talent ID and the play, and it's just same people and it was like Pep Lijnders recommends Gakpo. Pep Lijnders recommends Luis Diaz. Jurgen Klopp likes Darwin Nunez. That's the direction that we headed in, and I didn't like that, to be honest with you. I really didn't, and it's all about making smart transfers, smart decisions. And I think we fucked that up massively over the last 2 years, to be honest with you. So, yeah.
I was going to say, you need to
make another point about
Go.
Sorry, about Slot, by the way, is that I don't like this whole when people are kind of downplaying the United win because United are shit. I don't like that, bro, because Manchester United away for any Liverpool team, no matter how good Manchester United are, no matter how bad Man United are, no matter how good or bad we are, it's always such a dangerous game for a Liverpool team to go to Old Trafford and win. Because look at our record there, for example. They're up for it. United players are up for it. It's their biggest game. It's our biggest game. Their fans are up for it. It's hostile. It's dangerous. Honestly, and you look at the season we won the league a few years ago. 26 out of our first 27 league games, 26 wins, 1 draw, and that 1 draw came away at Old Trafford against the United team with Pereira and Dan James and these guys, and we could only draw 1-1. Lallana had to score a last-minute equaliser to draw 1-1 with them. It's a dangerous game, and yet we went there the other day and absolutely played them off the park and won 3-0 in his third game in charge. I don't want to hear anyone downplaying that by saying, "Oh, but United is shit."
No,
That
it's
is
not
a
about.
big
But
win for
Raiyan,
that.
it's
for
not.
Arne
No,
Slot,
it is,
man.
it is, and it's not about downplaying it. But at the same time, you know the whole analogy of you play the game, not the occasion. We have to look at that as a game, right? So
Yeah, but
in years gone past, 100%, Anfield's been a place where it's been difficult to get points. Under Klopp when we were at our best, we still struggled to go and win there and so forth. I get it. But when we had worse players and were under Benitez, United looked at us like we were a problem because we went there. Because what happened, we had a manager that played the game and we didn't have that emotion with it. And unfortunately enough, I think we've got a manager now that he's trying to get the team to work and play in his image as every manager would. He didn't look fussed about being at Old Trafford on the touchline. He didn't look fussed about exposing what United did. He was there. He was in his suit, no socks or whatever, in his quarter zip. Looks like he works in Canary Wharf with Raks. And honestly, but it looked
guys,
exactly. But it looked like do you know what I mean? Like he's going to get his lunch at Allgate. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Going to local Itsu. But what I'm trying to say is, it's that demeanor that enabled me as a fan to look at that game and be like, actually, I'm not worried about like us once, like even when we were under pressure in those first 10, 15 minutes when United were aggressive.
We never looked like conceding.
Slot didn't look worried. He weren't shouting. It was just cool because there's a confidence in what he's done in his preparation, and that exudes confidence on the pitch. So the players looked like there was no emotion in it. It wasn't like it was some ride or die or need to win game. It was just another game. And I think it's not about downplaying it. But to that point, again, if we win against United but then lose to Nottingham Forest and lose to the next game, we can't give it props because what a massive win that was for United. It was a great win, but it could have been. That game could have been Crystal Palace, and I'd still want us to win. And the Crystal Palace game has been difficult for Liverpool before, and for me, the way I look at it. The way I look at it is you win the game and cool. For fans, it's a completely different thing. For fans, like, yeah, it's United. We get to go and shit on them and say, oh, F you United, you're rubbish. Cool. But let's just scrap that and look at it from a psychological perspective. It's just a game, innit? Once you win this one, it's fine. You're not facing United now. You only face them twice a year. So it can't be this big thing that we over romanticize about that because we won against United and we struggled before. We should have been doing this. With the players that we had, and again, like you're saying, in that season when we won the first 26 games and then draw to United, we should have just done that. But when you've got a manager that plays under emotion in these emotional events, that's when it becomes a bit tricky. And if we can remove ourselves from that, we're probably better stead to go and face a United again and just beating them and getting over those hoodoos.
I hear what you're saying, but this is it's a different for any Liverpool team going to Old Trafford. It's difficult, man. It's difficult.
Why? Okay, Raiyaan, why is that then? Why is that?
Because it's a different game where form goes out the window. They are bang up for it. Manchester United being at home.
That's fine.
Their fans are up for it. They're up for it.
The fans are up for it. They're up for it. Why should it be different? Why is it different than any other game? Just from a footballing perspective.
Because of what Raiyan said, I actually agree with Ray. I think it's not the same as any other game because of the fact that Man United always turn up regardless. Same way 10 years ago when they were good and we were crap, we turned up. We still beat them even.
Can I just quickly touch upon it? The only time where I kind of hear what JJ's saying is when Hude was there was always the notion that we were so far behind United. We were the underdogs. We were always catching up to them. And that's where it had that demeanor on them. But people forget when Rafa Benitez was first starting off at Liverpool, he didn't have a great record against United, but he always used to play the game. But the problem is the players that he had was just not good enough until we got to a certain point where it was like, these players are actually good enough and he can implement his game plan to beat Man United. We saw that we comfortably beat them at Anfield, both at Anfield and at Old Trafford. But before then, when we had such a significant player disparity between both of us, and we tried to play the game, it just wouldn't work. And I hear what JJ is coming from because when Klopp was there, it's a double-edged sword playing under emotion. It gets you the very best, but it also gets the very worst of you.
Yeah,
playing the Klopp, where we had say the 5-0, the 3-0. That's where you get the big disparity. You got the 5-0, the 3-0, the 4-2s, the 3-1s. But then you also get the 1-1s, the 0-0s, the draws, the losses. That's what.
And
happens.
I stick by it, Ram. I blame player not being clinical in those games. Genuinely, I'm being honest. Like, because the same game happened last year, you guys, and we fucking missed all the chances away at Old Trafford with the same exact game.
Is that down to emotion and pressure that got?
How can I say Diaz missing chances, Nunes missing chances is down to emotion? How is that?
But Diaz scored at Old Trafford, didn't he?
Yeah,
yes,
goal,
and then messed up the chances in front of goal against City and other games. I'm saying,
City
generality.
Cost us, yeah.
I'm
saying pressure.
What I'm saying is just to summarize. What I'm saying is I understand that from a fan's perspective, and especially when Klopp is trying to tap in the intangibles of football to go and get a level on a certain opponent. So making sure that the Anfield crowd is G'd up. Do you know what I mean? G'ing up the Anfield crowd, fist pumps to go into the next game and stuff, and using that the city and the fans and the emotion and trying to marry that with the players in order to go and create something. That is obviously something we've seen. You don't get Barcelona comebacks and Borussia Dortmund comebacks without it. You don't.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at it from a logical perspective, when you talk about Arne Slot, he seems to me, and obviously I don't know, he's not trying to get involved in that. I think he spoke about in his press conference where he's like, I'm not Jurgen Klopp, and the fans will like me if I can win games. I'm not going to try and make the fans like me because I'm doing fist pumps and I'm really emotional and passionate. I'm going to be myself. You might not even like my demeanor and the fact that I'm so calm on the pitch, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to win games. And the same as Benitez. Benitez is so far away, so far removed from Jurgen Klopp. But prior to Jurgen Klopp, Benitez, we were looking at him like he was, oh my God, one of the best managers we've had, because he won games and got us to obviously Champions League final, but then also got us to finish in second and stuff, where Liverpool weren't used to, especially my generation, we were used to getting that far and having the players that we did. So going into those games then, like a United, if you can have someone that just takes the emotion out of it, yeah, you might not get a massive comeback, but in those games where you're controlling it really well, you dampen. It doesn't matter if the United fans are getting up for it. You just got another team that's really clinical in what they do. And I think City benefit from it by not having these massive rivalries with teams. They just come into this team, their fans don't really care, and they're just clinical about it. But sorry, Raks, go on.
After Raks, I want to move on topic to talk about a couple of individuals as well. Ads, you bastard, okay. I see you. We're going to talk about your boy now. Go ahead.
Big up Ads, man. Just look, making this a little bit more fun and a little bit less analytical. I think it's absolutely amazing the utter humiliation we've dished out on United over the last 4 or 5 years. The only time I can remember us doing this to like a big club so consistently is there was a period of a similar number of years where we absolutely obliterated Arsenal. Every time we played them, humiliation after humiliation after humiliation. 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. 5-1.
5-1.
Like, every time, they came to Anfield and their only hope was not to get a spanking. Now, even when United were, dominating the league, they won. I think out of 20 Premier Leagues, they won 13 of them. Even during that period, I remember they beat us 4-0 after Sami Hyypiä got sent off in the first minute at Old Trafford.
So wait,
and yeah, that was away.
3-0 at Old Trafford once, I remember.
Yeah, away at 2008, I think.
I think Mascherano got sent off, didn't he?
But like a sustained period of 4 or 5 years, whatever it may be, of them basically getting pumped every year, home and away. I haven't known this since that Arsenal period. And I think it's absolutely brilliant. And long may it continue.
Listen, on that note, I do want to move on to talk about Mo and Diaz and stuff like this. Let me just move on the topic, Ryan, because I feel like everyone's just made their feelings clear on this whole situation. Big up to all of you guys. We are almost at 300 likes. Everyone, please do hit the like button. Everyone, please do subscribe to the channel. We're going to be talking about Diaz's contracts, Mo's contracts, the big four, and all that type of stuff. Please hit the like button and subscribe right here, right now. Big up to my guy, Ed, who says it wouldn't be an introduction if I didn't drop this. Ed is the biggest hater of Ray. You got me dropping the 1610 piece in the chat. Big up to you, Ed. Listen, I know this is your worst nightmare, Ray on a stream, but listen, instead of him waffling in the chat, we decided to bring him on the channel. That's the best way to do it. You get me? So, yeah. Big up my guy. Dinner says, evening. Happy Slot has not changed the team completely like Graham Souness did it back in 1992. Let Manchester United through the back door. I feel like there is a happy medium here, Dinesh. You know, even if you do want the whole team changed, factually, whether anyone here or in the chat or in the whole world likes it or not, Slot did want a DM. He did not get one. And it's absolute nonsense, to be honest with you. So for me, Slot did not get back. That's why I'm not going to blame him, because we should have backed Slot with exactly what he wants. That's my honest thing, to be honest.
That's what he's saying, though. That's what he's saying. He's saying that he didn't completely change it. Like what's
no, I'm with you. And that's what I'm saying. Happy medium.
Yeah. Okay.
Happy medium. Yeah. Like get him the DM, get him the stuff that he needs. Retrospectively, dissing Klopp is poor. We move.
I mean, no, it's not even that. Like, I literally
you caught him off guard.
I love Jurgen Klopp. I love him. He's a legend of the club. He
Don't lie.
gave me the happiest times as a football fan. But I'm talking about Klopp the last 2 years. That's what people don't realize. The
Don't
last
lie.
2 years, people. Not the whole 9 years.
Lie.
2 years. That's it.
Such a liar, bro.
Fraud.
I mean, literally look at the comments that I've said. Just saying.
Double is in chat for my guy Josh, who says hit the like for my goat Slot. Make sure guys are liking the video. Every single one of you guys right now, please do hit the like button. Please do subscribe to the channel. All these guys' channels in the description as well. Big up to my guy Fater says, just want to say you guys, you're all 16 out of 10s. There you are. There you are. I do you.
This is a football stream, you know. Let's talk about football.
Should have known it was coming.
Raiyan, on Raiyan's gravestone, there's going to be no words. It's just going to be 16-10.
I know, man.
Flawless is going to make that happen. He will definitely make that happen.
Oh man,
Flawless the fraud. Big up to you, man.
I agree.
Club turned this club around. We owe him big time. Heard that, Raiyan? He turned it around. We owe him big time.
I agree with that. Yeah.
You know, I'll say to you this way. I use this analogy. Imagine there's an empty piece of land. No one there. It's just forests. A guy came in. He cut the trees. He used the cement. He put in the blocks. He built the entirety of the first floor. And then the other guy came in. He put the flat screen TV, all the fucking modern shit. Whether you like it or not, the original guy is what turned the empty land into a house. You get me? So like,
Sam doesn't need a roof. He doesn't need a roof. He doesn't need a second floor. He wants to have an open plan roof and a flat screen TV. If it rains, we'll deal with that afterwards.
Yeah. Listen, I didn't have to go to the details, Raks, to be honest with you. But you get what I'm saying. That's the problem with Ray. Fucking fraud. Always dissing Klopp. But anyway, it is what it is.
I literally talked about Klopp last 2 years. But okay.
You're a fraud. So let's talk about Luis Diaz next. And Mo, those are the two I want to talk about because I see ads in the chat. Of course, the Mo Salah hater, the prime hater of Mo Salah. Make sure you guys are listening to Josh, liking and subscribing. So I do want to kind of merge them both together because we have spoken a lot as well about the manager. So I kind of want to merge kind of both sections together. The Diaz stuff, the Mo Salah stuff in terms of contracts and in terms of performances as well overall this season. I don't know who to start with this section. I want to give it to Ram. Yeah, we'll let you start it before we open the floor up. With the contract situation, with the big three, and Luis Diaz performances so far this season. Tell me your honest thoughts.
My honest thoughts is the big three should be getting contracts first, and then everyone else should be thought about. We have enough money to give out to these players. I am not doing this whole, we have no money. We got rid of Thiago, we got rid of Joe Matip. That's about £300,000 worth of wage off the weekly wage bill. We've made a profit in terms of transfers. So that's another thing that we got to add on top of that. I am not having the fact that we can't afford any of them. We can easily afford all of them. I expect Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent to be getting new contracts this week. If we don't, honestly, this club they're stupid. Honestly, I don't care if FSG cut off my internet or do it or whatever. They are probably the most stupidest things that they could ever do. First reason, Mo Salah doesn't look like he's not going to stop being the Mo Salah that we know. Mo Salah has been performing at this level for 7 seasons, and he's not slowing down at all. You know what I mean? He's constantly getting GA, which is the highest form of commodity you can get in a footballer. That's one. Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk is still one of the best centre-backs, if not
Our
the best
player.
centre-back in the world. Why would you get rid of a big asset like that? And let's be honest, if we get rid of him, who we got left? We got Konate and Kwanzaa, 2 senior centre-backs. We need to keep our centre-backs as much as possible. And lastly, this is probably the biggest one. Trent, local lad, 25 years old, possibly future captain of Liverpool Football Club, marketability. He's got everything behind him. And yet we still haven't tied him down to a contract as well. With flipping Real Madrid snooping around and circling like vultures to pick off all of our players. It's ridiculous how we've gone to this sort of situation where 3 of our most key players for the last 5 to 6 years are running down their contracts. It is absolutely ridiculous. And that should be the primary focus rather than Luis Diaz, in my opinion. But then again, Luis Diaz is getting around about, was it 50k a week, which is crazy. Crazy.
I don't even know if the Diaz thing is true though. I don't even know if the source was like any good. I don't know if it's true, but like
JJ knows. JJ knows.
No, but
go on, JJ, you know. I know you know, bro. Come on.
Do I know what? What are you? You got to ask me a direct question. You can't just say to me, you know. What
How
do
much
I know?
is he on? How much does he earn? I know you got all the facts about Diaz. Come on.
He's on between 45 and 55.
That's kind of crazy.
Husam,
because
I know you don't like it.
Because he's on about 20. He was on about 15 to 20 at Porto. So he got obviously a 50% increase, which for him is a massive obviously deal. Like if someone came to you and said they're going to double your earnings, you take it. You
keep
I know
saying
you don't like the guy.
Husam Ram, giving Diaz a contract now is genuinely stupid.
I agree with that. I do
to
agree
do.
with that. Yeah.
It's easy. It's probably
easy.
Exactly, it's easy. Why? Just because he's been good for 2 games? Yeah. Are we forgetting Ipswich?
No. It's easy in the sense of he's already on little money of like a professional footballer.
But why do you need to do it? Well, like, what is the need? He's earning enough money. Like, why do you actually need to? He's had 2 good games. I hope if he continues this form, then absolutely give him a contract. But actually, after 2 games, you don't need to reward him with a contract after 2 good games. Not forgetting the fuckeries that he was on last season. You can't just give him a new contract just because of 2 games. He needs to carry this on, and then he'll warrant a new contract. I admit his pay does seem pretty low when you consider it, but that doesn't just mean you should just increase his pay massively for no reason. Just because of 2 good games, like I said.
I would increase everybody's. I would increase everybody's pay.
Well, that's why you'd go bankrupt, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't just increase everyone. But what I would say though with Diaz, the issue, not the issue, but irrespective of what you think about him and whether you think he warrants a new contract or doesn't, right? He's standing at the club, right? In terms of, and you can see from the number that they've given him and the fact that Slot is starting him in those games ahead of Gakpo, ahead of playing Jota on the left. There's so many things he could have done, and even like bringing in the Chiesa, right? The fact that there's murmurs of a contract means that Slot looks at him as a first teamer. He looks at him as that's my first point of call. The same way Klopp looked at Mane, and when he signed Mane in, he came in at a certain package. So irrespective of what we think, that's what the manager thinks. I think that's why they're doing it. Speaking about the contract situation, I think the club 100% need to do these, get these contracts sorted. But who's to say that these players even want to sign a contract? Irrespective of whether he comes out and says, pardon?
You're doing this seriously? So you don't believe if we offer Mo Salah a new contract, you think he won't sign it?
He will.
I think Mo Salah is in a position where he's in control and he wants to be in control. Mo Salah can,
and he would sign the contract.
No, but that's not But he can make a decision on that. If he goes and we've just started this season, right? He doesn't need to go and sign a contract now. And then what?
Did you hear what he said on?
I think he sounded like he gave them control last week.
So Jerry, you're a smart man. You listened to that interview on Sky. Do you genuinely believe if he was offered the contract, he would sign it?
Yeah, honestly. I don't think he would have, because I think the first thing that he went and mentioned was he said, "Oh, it's my last year, so I don't really want to go and think about it." Stating the fact that on numerous occasions now, and even on the interviews done on like YouTube with I forgot the channel's name, but he done a channel where they're asking about a contract, and he says the same thing. Yeah, the ball guy, and he just goes and he goes and states, I don't really care. I don't want to think about my contract right now. I just want to focus on my football. He's in a position where he is in control, so he can wait to go and see. Just as Raks said, this is 4 games of Slot. So they're speaking about early Slot, and he says, "Look, it's great. Look, we've changed some things. You know, we got complacent, or potentially got complacent on the clock. So now, obviously, and became in our comfort zone. We're out of our comfort zone now, but obviously, everything that's happening on the football pitch is great. But I don't want to speak about that right now. If Slot goes and all of a sudden we start losing games, and in December we're looking at it, we're like, oh my God, we're a mid-table team, and it's like a Brendan Rodgers setting. Why would he want to sign? Why would he want to sign? What? So Liverpool offer him a contract now, and he has to sign because they offer it to him. He's giving Liverpool what 7, 8, 9, nearly a decade of his career, in the best years of his career. He's still performing at a high level. He knows he's going to have suitors, just like Virgil van Dijk, just like Trent Alexander-Arnold. They're not going to be forced into a contract. If you wanted to go and do that, you should have went and done that at the beginning of last season when Klopp didn't announce he was leaving and offer a contract then. Instead, what happened with all this madness and not having a sporting director, we didn't do it. Now they're in a position of control. Who's to say they're not waiting to go and see what option is there? Salah might not want to go to Saudi, but hey, if all of a sudden his contract's over, I know a team in white that might potentially be interested in getting a player that's over 30 on maybe a 2-year deal on that right-hand side, because their right-hand side ain't great and it sorts their situation out. Salah could play for them. He could play for any team in the world. Trent could play for a lot of teams in the world. Van Dijk could play for any team in the world. So they need to assess their careers and assess the situation where they're at Liverpool and assess whether they want to continue with this project, because essentially they've won everything there is to win in football. Why would they want to stay at Liverpool? As a fan, I get it. But at work, why would you go and do that?
I'm not talking about it as a fan, though. His interview saying the club haven't offered him a contract, and the way that he was speaking shows that he's essentially, first of all, he's calling out the owners, he's calling out the football club, and on top of all of that, he's basically essentially saying, put the contract on the table and I'll sign it. That's what I genuinely believe.
Van Dijk did the same, bro.
You know,
like you know what it is? Van Dijk did it indirectly. Trent hasn't said shit yet. Van Dijk did it indirectly. Alisson did it indirectly. Mo's like, fuck all this indirect. I'm going to say, the club haven't offered me a contract yet. They haven't spoken to me. They haven't given me anything yet. The way that he spoke in that interview alone shows me that he actually wants to stay, because he's talking about enjoying it. He spoke about, in the same interview that you're talking about, he's talking about his children being Scouse, 8 years in the city, how much he loves the city, he loves the club. So in my opinion, look, Mo could have left last summer. He could have left the summer before. He could have left the summer before. Let's not all be delusional here. He could have went to Real Madrid. He could have went to Bayern Munich. He could have went to Barcelona. There's 100 fucking clubs he could have went to. Forget Saudi. And I'll tell you this. I'm from the Middle East. The Saudi offer for Mo will be there when he's 39. Even if it's the last year of his career, he can play it in Saudi. That's never ever going to be a thing where it's like, oh my God, Saudi are no longer in for Mo. They'll always be in for him. He'll make up for the transfer within a day just by shirt sales. So that's how big he is in this area, this part of the world.
Ivan Toney's on. How much is Ivan Toney on?
Ivan Toney's on 300 grand.
Half a mil.
Yeah, and that's Ivan Toney, with all due respect. And the thing is, I look at modern football. And this is my honest opinion on this Mo situation. I see ads in the chat, and that's why I was calling him out. This is my honest thoughts on the Mo situation. Look, we need to stop. I'm going to use a top red line here, funnily enough. We need to stop acting like it's FIFA. Just because a player hit 32 does not mean that he's finished and he's done or any of that. 100%. This guy, the way that he takes care of his body, the way that he takes the sport seriously, the way that he's focused, he could be playing until he's 35, in my opinion, next 3 years in the Premier League easily. And the one thing that we have to give credit to Mo for, and this is something that Mane failed to do, by the way, he went and he developed his game. This Mo, this current version of Mo, is 100 times better a playmaker than he was 3 years ago. The passes, the creativity are not on the same level whatsoever. 3 years ago, when I was on Spaces and shit like that, Raks used to listen to them, and he knows all the fights about, ability, and he's just pace and power, and he runs him behind and all that shit. Fair enough. Now, the way that he links up play, the way that he creates for his teammates, like, let's look at the 2 passes at Old Trafford. A cross with your weak foot like that, and a pass in between insane cross, and a pass in between 2 defenders right into the foot of Luis Diaz. That's someone who has developed his game to the level in which he is. And actually, this is sad to say about our team, but it's the fucking unfortunate reality. Mo is the playmaker and the goal scorer of this team, unfortunately. That's why I wished we signed the forward, to be honest with you.
No,
So,
but Husam, what you're saying...
Trent's the playmaker, isn't
No,
he?
no, I mean from
in the forward line.
Salah is as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
100%.
fine, yeah.
But what I would say, to your point though, Husam, what you're saying is why I think we don't take what Salah's saying just at face value. If I'm negotiating something and I want to go and know what the club values me at, right? And I got 8 months left on my deal. I want the club to offer me something so I know what they're valuing me at, what that club's valuing me at, and if I can get my money a bit closer to that valuation at Liverpool and we're going on a great trajectory, great. If we're falling off and you're still not offering me money, like I'm seeing apparently Liverpool not offering a 1 or 2 year deal on 300k, that's a decrease on the amount of money that he's earning. In terms of performances, like if anything, he might want an increase because of his consistency. Is he going to get that at Liverpool? Is Liverpool going to, like you said, he's an elite footballer. He can play for any team in the world. If Liverpool aren't at that elite level, why would you want to go and stay? What, just for the vibes? Because your daughter's Scout? I hear that. You have to look at it. You have to look at it in terms of football stickle, right? If Salah wasn't performing at this level, we wouldn't want him at the club. You didn't want Henderson at the club. You didn't want Henderson to retire at the club. So don't tell me that Salah needs to retire at the club. You only want him to retire at the club because he's at the elite level.
You want to know the difference with Henderson, honestly? But I know the guys as well want to get their opinions. First of all, lads, that's not what you were saying when I was on Spaces. You were saying sell Mo Salah, you fraud. I'll never forget it. Ads out here. Big up for the super chat. You get me. Love for the supporting the channel and shit. But you cannot say run them all contracts now like you didn't want Mo Salah sold the summer ago. This guy's reaction on Spaces, I'll never forget it. When the Saudis came in the space and they're like, Mo's coming to Al Ittihad. This guy was like, Liverpool will survive without Mo Salah. We'll survive. Don't worry about it. If we didn't have him, I don't know. We had a fucking shit season, finished 5th. I don't know where the fuck we would have finished without him that year, fucking 10th, hugging Chelsea and shit. And you know what it is when it comes to everything that Jerry just says. I always look at it this way. Henderson is easy to replace. 100 Hendersons. Outside your door, you can go find 100 Hendersons. With Mo. Honestly, just walk out. Just go to the playground.
Just outside your door.
He can run and he's a leader. Listen, you can find that shit easily. With Mo, my problem is, and I'm talking about us as a football club, genuinely. You don't know the issue? Who can replace Mo in world football right now? Vinicius, Mbappe. Unattainable. Who can become as good as Mo 5 years from now? Saka, Palmer. Unattainable. This club, if we sold Mo, would go sign Johan Bakayoko. And then would go like, yeah, we have the right wing sorted, lads. We've got our Salah replacement. And then he's going to need 3-4 years to get like 10 goals in the Prem and development and all this crap. And it takes such a long time, to be honest with you. My problem has always been, you know what it is, Jerry? If we're the type of club to sell Mo and go buy Mbappe, I'm like, okay, fair enough. But we're not the type of club. We sell Mo, we go buy Bakayoko replacement sorted.
No, but I agree. But that's what I'm saying to you. I don't think so. I think look, 100% what you're saying. I don't think there's anyone that can really replace Salah. I think when you look at it, the consistency, the numbers, the way he's even playing this season, you're not going to. But at one point or not, he's either going to leave or we're gonna be playing the 36.
Yeah, and I'm trying to make him leave 3 years from now, not now.
Yeah, but that's my point. What Liverpool are trying to do is trying to go in time, which understandably as a club you'd want to do, time the decline of Mo Salah with also maximizing his output, because like I just said, we only want Salah to stay because of his performances. If Salah dropped 5 goals this season and he didn't score any other goals this season and kept playing, I'll be watching Don Husam's channel and Husam will be saying, we need to get rid of Salah. I mean, it's done. The club we shouldn't have offered him a contract.
I doubt you ever hear me personally say that. You get me?
Of course, not you. But that's my point. What I'm saying is, he's a high. Of course, Liverpool should do everything they can to keep the player. My argument is, I don't think it's as black and white as player wants to stay. He 100% wants to stay, and Liverpool can just offer him whatever, and he's going to stay because he's Steven Gerrard. I think he's looking at it from, he's someone that's very, very ambitious. You can see it from him. And if he can't fulfill his ambitions in the twilight years of his career, Why would he want to stay at Liverpool? That's what we have to. I think that's the crux of it. And I think the same is for Virgil van Dijk. The Trent situation is different, but they're in the twilight years of their career. How can I maximize these years? Can I do it at Liverpool, or may I need to go and do it at another club, even though it's out of my comfort zone? And the fact that my daughter's a Scouse, and what he's trying to ascertain is Slot the guy? Are they going to offer me a contract? I think there's so many variables. We need to wait until see what happens.
Could be a thing. He could be assessing Slot himself. And let me just say something to the chat. Genuinely, sorry, quickly, Raks. I know you've been trying to speak for me.
Go on.
Kudus. Do you guys like listen? Ads, toxic tash, everyone in the chat,
bro.
even you, Tabank. Guys, I'm FSG out. You're all like 99% of you are FSG out in the chat. Do you think that this football club is going to go pay 70 million for Kudus? Can you just be fucking objective and realistic?
Yes.
Because I think personally, I have a conspiracy. Genuinely, I have a conspiracy. I think if Mo leaves, I think the other two leave. I'm being dead ass. I'm actually not doing like this whole Mo.
I think Van Dijk stays.
I genuinely believe that he could be the catapult to either them staying or them leaving. And I'm not saying it as like he's the most incredible thing since like, bro. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just being honest. I think they will leave. I don't think this club will go pay 70 for Kudus and replace Virgil van Dijk and replace Trent and do all of that shit. We know how our club operates. In the words of Kurdish, big up Kurdish. I wanted him on today's stream because he was a chat on Michael Edwards. But in the words of Kurdish, he always used to say an infamous statement: "Know your owners." He used to say that with a parrot on his neck. Know your owners. He used to say that.
Parrot.
We all know who the fuck own Liverpool Football Club. Do not think that this football club is going to go pay 70 for Kudus and go replace Virgil van Dijk and go replace this guy. You know what they're going to do? We all know what they're going to do. Johan Bakayoko. We've got Connor Bradley, mate. We're all good. And then they're going to go drop like, I don't know, 20 million on fucking Inacio and go like, this is the replacement to Virgil van Dijk. This is how we operate. So that's why the people like myself are worried and would rather keep the fucking player because I don't know who the fuck they're going to bring in.
I just need to. Okay. So from the player's perspective, right? There's two sides to this coin. There's the financial side, how much money they're going to make, and the footballing ambition or whether they want a new challenge, right? I think it's completely understandable. I've said it for a while. If it got to the end of this season and Virgil was like, I've given 8 years, 7 years, whatever it is to Liverpool, I want to go and play 3 or 4 years playing for Barcelona or someone like that, go there on a free transfer. I can understand just on a human level, when we talk about these guys as human beings, why wouldn't you, man? This guy walks into any team in the world, right? And then on the financial side, we have to think about it, right? Mo Salah's on 350 grand a week. Barcelona, there's only really PSG, I think, or the Saudis that would necessarily pay Mo Salah that.
Unpopular opinion. If he's on a free, he'll go Madrid.
Yeah, but will he go though? When they've got Vinicius, they got Rodrigo.
I think
they've
he'd
got
go somewhere in Europe. I don't think
all three of their forwards are left wingers, literally. All three of them.
Yeah, but I don't know if they we haven't really seen Madrid recruit a 33-year-old player, right? When was the last time we saw them buy someone like that, especially in the forward line? I'm not saying it's impossible. No, I'm not saying it's impossible.
That's Real
but
Madrid.
It hasn't been their MO recently, right? So they've always been going for these young up and coming. That's why they went for this guy, the kid that United signed, that central defender. They're looking for these next level, Tchouaméni and Bellingham and all these guys. So that would be a departure from that strategy. And we know Barcelona don't have those finances. So that's why I think really financially it's only PSG and Saudi, in my opinion.
Yeah, but Mo Salah on the free though, Rack.
Yeah, but they've still got to pay him 350 grand a week at least to top the offer.
I know what you mean.
Right? 350 grand a week in the current financial climate is a lot of money. Say if we were to offer him 350 grand to stay on the same, there's not going to be many clubs that can beat that. He's not going to go to another club in England. So automatically,
yes, I agree.
Downstairs Arsenal might.
So the number of suitors for Salah is limited.
I what you said.
What Jerry is saying is right. Like there was a period towards the end of last season where Salah really wasn't playing that well, right? And people were getting on his back. Don't get me wrong, the team as a whole weren't playing that well. And just from a risk perspective, look, we can talk about the owners and all that kind of stuff. This summer has been a disgrace and it's been shocking. We haven't really, Husam, you and I haven't really spoke about that. I think this summer has been absolutely disgusting. But all you can do is you can manage the situation from now on. I understand why these guys like let's give it a little bit more time and see, let's wait until the summer or just past the summer and see how things go. Because if the downward trajectory from the end of last season continues, then maybe we don't want to offer Mo Salah a new contract. Now they've seen him, he's come back, he's revitalized, he's scoring goals. They obviously want to see, if this kind of Salah, if you can guarantee this Salah for the next 3 years, absolutely. But now is the time where there is a bit of uncertainty, right, from the club's perspective. So I get that. And ultimately, we are.
Raks, you understand the way we operate.
We are going to.
How do you think we replace him, Raks?
Sorry,
honestly, how do you think you replace him? How?
Kudus.
It's not a player. It's not a player.
We need
it's not a player.
so much work on this team already. And you're telling me.
I think it's very difficult to replace Mo Salah like for like, right? It's very. The only thing, there's two ways you can do it: adjust the system and maybe look to bring in somebody else who can and share that burden. But that's very difficult, right? Because it's a lot when you've got more pieces to adjust like that. The possibility of things not working, I think, increased. It's very, very difficult. But it's very, very difficult to replace one of the best players in the world.
Husam, have you not seen Moneyball, mate?
Yeah, but look,
recreate him in the aggregate. That's how you recreate. That's how you replace Salah.
But this is what I mean, Ram. These things all are possible in theory. The reality is different. But let's also not forget, and I don't mean Salah from this perspective, but Salah was known, but he wasn't this world-class player when he came to Liverpool. He came to Liverpool, hit the ground running. There may be a player out there that we don't know or that we know, but don't see this trajectory or this potential change in. I'm always of the opinion that there are very good, great, excellent, world-class players out there. You just have to find them, and then you need to mold the team, or they need to adapt to you. You need to adapt to them. Do I think a like-for-like Mo Salah direct replacement is out there? I think it's difficult, but it's not impossible. And but it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. Don't get me wrong.
You have to remember,
we can't just go and pick up. But anyone who's saying, Kudus is the answer. Anyone saying Kudus is the answer, I think you can't say that with serious conviction because we don't know. That's a massive change. It's a massive step up for him, and it's a massive departure from Mo Salah for us.
This is actually what's gonna happen right here in the comment. This is actually what's gonna happen.
That'd be disgusting.
Gonna punch my fucking light right here. Just turn into
that's cold, bro. Like, imagine Mint up front, bro. Like,
how is that cold, Ram?
He's fucking so bad, honestly.
Ain't that right, JJ? He's cold, isn't it?
Gay for Van Dijk is disgusting. That's the biggest downgrade in football.
Way for Van Dijk as well. Come on now.
Horrible.
No. Look. Gay, he's good, but the problem Liverpool have, and unfortunately, this is just football, right? We're talking about, for Liverpool anyway, these players that we're talking about, and they're the players on the Klopp. They're arguably the best players Liverpool have had. And the issue that we've got is we look at it and we're like, oh my God, how are we going to go and replace Salah? But you don't want to be in a situation like you are with Robertson, because 2 years ago, no one would have said, yeah, Robertson's got to go, maybe, or 3 years ago. You're looking at a decline of Robertson with injuries, maybe not performing as well. And now everyone's talking about Aït-Nouri. You don't want to be in a situation where you're looking at Salah and Salah's 38 or 36, but he's so rubbish, you'd go and take the winger from Ipswich that just got promoted, or a Jaden Philogene from Aston Villa, because he's better than Salah. We want to go and try and keep the levels as high as possible. So when we're looking at these wingers, of course, no one's going to be like Salah. You're not going to be able to replace Salah. Salah's arguably the best winger in Premier League history. You're not going to get that. But you have to go and look at, all right, cool, how can we go and still go and win games? Because City were like that at one point. You looked at De Bruyne, were like, if De Bruyne goes, City are finished. De Bruyne doesn't start games, they still find a way to go and win games. They don't have Walker anymore. They're not defending with this. They're defending with a high line, but it's a bit different now. They've got Rico Lewis that's coming into midfield. They're doing stuff differently, and I think that's where the managers earn their bucks. And unfortunately, us fans, we're not going to know. But a Slot's got to come and look at it. And when he's assessing to come into Liverpool, he's looking at it like, all right, cool, let me look at the squad. All right, I've got an aging Salah and Adrian Van Dijk. How long are they going to be there for me? Oh, I'm not sure. They may not want me. They may not want to stay here with me. We may not gel, but let's say they stay for 2 seasons, 3 seasons. We're going to have to plan for them afterwards anyway. So what is going to be our exit plan from that perspective? How are we going to go and replace Salah in terms of as a player? How are we going to go and combat the fact that we're not going to have Salah's 25 goals? He may decline. And that's on the manager. I don't think we need to look at it like Salah's great. We have to keep him until we rinse him dry, because we're going to be stuck looking at Salah saying, "Oh, he's old, he's a bum." Prime Salah was great, but Salah is just rubbish. You want him to kind of.
But you know what, Jerry? I'm actually willing to take that risk. I'm willing to take that risk over the fact that this football club, I don't trust in replacing / buying players. That's my honest, genuine response to all of this. Ads and other people have been mentioning it in the chat as well. It could be that even Chiesa is the replacement. Would you guys accept that?
I think that's what I think that's what Liverpool have done. I think what Liverpool
do
have
you
done.
accept that, Jerry?
No, the correct answer is I'll accept it if Chiesa. I'll accept it if Chiesa bangs. If Chiesa comes in, then I don't. Then none of us are going to have a problem. Right? If Salah leaves, if Salah leaves and Chiesa comes in next season and scores 30 goals, 25 goals, no one will complain, right? No. If Chiesa comes in next season and scores 10 goals, everyone will be up in arms because we're.
Do you understand the risk you're taking?
We're fickle. Oh yeah, no, Husam, you're right. But what I'm saying is we're fickle, right? Me, you, everybody here, we will look and see what's going on. Come on, Husam, you know you're fickle.
I've cussed Arne Slot for 4 years in a row.
If they're successful, we'll accept it. If they're successful, we'll accept it. If they're shit, then we will kick up a fuss and go crazy and shout and scream.
And that's exactly it. That's exactly it. In my opinion, I've got to a point now, I don't care who Liverpool sign. As long as I don't hear the manager tell me I wanted to get a player and I couldn't get him, or I wasn't backed, or whatever it is. If he comes out and is like, this is my squad and I'm happy with this squad and these are my players, and it could be Aït-Nouri, it could be a player from the Dutch league that I've never heard of. If they come in and perform well, I can't say anything, because when we were signing Robertson, because of where Liverpool were, we weren't going and criticising that signing. And look how well Robertson turned out to be. When we went and signed,
you mentioned it yourself, because of where Liverpool were. We were a top 4 club at the time.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
we employed Alberto Moreno, so everyone was just happy to see
exactly. But I'm saying unfortunately, right? And that's another. And obviously we've got another.
Milner left back 1 year, Jerry. Like, you know how shit it was.
No, 100%. But I'm saying unfortunately we haven't got, and that's another discussion, right? But we haven't got owners. We haven't got owners that are going to go and splash out the money. So the way, and even then we could go and sign a Di Maria equivalent like United and he could do rubbish. We could sign a Falcao and he could do rubbish, right? So for me, it's as long as we get the players and that do well, I couldn't care less. So if Endo comes in and Endo does well, I don't care. I really don't care. We could sign Nunes a player for $1 million. If he comes into the squad and does well, I don't care. If it's Nyoni comes in and Slot says, that's my DM for the season, and balls out like Kobe Mainoo did last season, no one's going to complain. No one's going to say, Liverpool made the wrong decision. It's like with Kwanzaa last season. But if they perform badly, that's when we're going to have an issue. So for me, as long as they perform well, I couldn't care less. So keep the players, sell them, just get me performances.
You know what it is with the Chiesa thing? I disagree with you guys when you say, is he the replacement for Salah? I think he's been brought in to actually help Salah, to be honest, this season, just because Salah's been overplayed for years. Let's be honest, because we've not had a good enough backup for him for years. He's been overplayed massively. He ended up getting injured last year. He wasn't good when he came back from injury. I think he's just been brought in with Salah getting older as well in his 30s, just to be a squad player, play certain games and stuff like that, to give Salah a rest. Maybe save Salah for bigger games, when we play in Arsenal City. Chiesa might play the game before to rest Salah for that game. It'll be stuff like that.
Raiyan
needs a rest and stuff. I think he's been brought in to help Salah more so, in my opinion.
Based on that, right? All right, fair enough. That's this season. What about next season?
Personally, I think Salah's going to stay though. That's what it is.
Yeah. So you think a player 25, 26? Is that correct? Ram?
27.
26, right?
27. I think he's 27.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's just turned 26. I think. So he's either 25 or 26. So he's
Can you rely on
26.
Chiesa with his injury record, though? His injury record's mad the last few years.
That's
You're
a different
saying, can you
conversation.
rely on him? That's a different conversation. But if Liverpool believe, like Slot said, with their conditioning coaches and their training coaches, they can go and bank on trying to get Chiesa fit and stabilize him and make sure that he can play the majority amount of games and he performs well, right? They have not brought Chiesa in. You don't bring players in just to be a backup. You bring players in. They brought that play in to hopefully go and see how can you go and perform. And if they're in a situation where Salah has to leave, right? Or if Diaz leaves, or if someone else leaves, or someone's injured for a year or whatever, you've got a player that comes in and is looking to go and become a starter. Chiesa's coming to Liverpool to become a starter. He hasn't come into Liverpool to just chill on the bench and be a backup. And he's not in the twilight. But he hasn't come in to be a squad player, irrespective of where
paid 10 mil for him. Like
the money doesn't matter. The money he could have. Barcelona apparently were interested. Like, I'm not saying they could have got him, but I'm saying the amount of money you pay for a player is completely different. A player at the age of 26, right, that 2 seasons ago was valued at 100 million, in their right mind isn't coming to a club. Yeah, I'm just going to coast and be a backup like Origi and come in and play some games. No, he's going to look to go and boost his career again. He's going to the ego that Salah has. A Chiesa will have that to a certain extent within himself as well.
How do we know he doesn't end up becoming our main choice left winger, for example? Maybe
there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees.
That's my point. Chiesa comes in, balls out of left wing and replaces Diaz. I'm not saying that.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, what if it happens?
That's my point. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm saying that Chiesa's coming to become a starter at Liverpool. Like the players that Liverpool bring in.
Salah. That doesn't necessarily mean for Mo Salah.
No, a starter at Liverpool. So that might be if Mo Salah goes. That might be if he outperforms Mo Salah. It might be that he outperforms Diaz. Heck, he might even play in a number 10 because he plays as a second striker. I don't know what Slot's going to do.
Might even outperform Nunez.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever.
That guy, right?
Exactly. Whatever it is, I'm trying to say that when you're signing players and like a Chiesa, the reason why it is a good signing for me isn't because, he's coming in just to be a backup on the bench. It's because he's looking to push the starting 11. He's looking to go and push the level. It's not
that's what squad players do, bro.
No. Squad players just fill out the squad. A squad players for when you have training, you have your main 11.
I'm saying he has been brought in to push the other guys, but I'm saying he's not being brought in as an automatic starter.
Right.
I don't think he's been brought in as some Salah replacement or anything.
No player at Liverpool's been an automatic starter unless they've gone and performed. Even Fabinho was sitting on the bench.
Let's be honest. Mo Salah is. Trent is.
Mo Salah performed. Yes, because they've performed at Liverpool. How can you judge a player that hasn't played at the club and expect him to be a starter? Of course, like Raks said, if he comes in and performs, he's going to be a starter.
Yeah, of course.
So that's my point. So he's not coming to just be a squad player.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but I'm just saying it's not as if Liverpool wanted to replace like a Luis Diaz straight away, for example, they would have gone and got Anthony Gordon if they wanted.
But
Luis Diaz hasn't left. That's my point, and they couldn't get Anthony Gordon.
If they were adamant Luis Diaz isn't good enough, we want him replaced at the left. We would need a new left winger to instantly come in and replace Luis Diaz in the lineup. They would have gone and got Anthony Gordon. Then they wouldn't have gone and got Chiesa.
Liverpool will never look at it like that. If a player in the starting 11 isn't good enough, they wouldn't be starting.
Plus,
that's my point.
But that's the thing. Chiesa is good enough to potentially come in and start, though. Anthony Gordon would have come in straight away if they would have brought him.
No, but Ryan, that's the whole
point. No, we wouldn't.
Chiesa fits their model.
No, but that's my point. That's false. We could have bought Anthony Gordon for 80 million. If we bought Anthony Gordon for 80 million, it's not an automatic starter just because of the price tag.
If you pay that money for him, it is.
So where's Nunez then?
Yeah, but Nunez did come in as the plan to be an automatic start. He's so bad.
He wasn't an automatic starter.
That's the thing. He was so bad that he isn't an automatic starter. He won't be here in a year. In my
clubs
opinion.
are based on Clubs are based on performance. Clubs are based on performance. Unless you're Mbappe, like Husam said, Mbappe, Vinicius, and you're or flipping Bellingham right now, where you're just a marquee name. You come into the club. That's a completely different thing. I'm sorry, Gordon isn't that, right? Chiesa isn't that. So Diaz wasn't that. Mane wasn't that. You have to at Liverpool. The way the model is, they want to go and buy players to keep the competitive level, the competitiveness high. They bring in players at. You have a player at A level. You bring in a player at a similar level, maybe a bit higher, maybe a bit lower, hoping that you can surpass what's going on, or they can go and challenge it out. So in 2 years' time, if Gakpo is doing well, I could see Gakpo playing in front of Diaz if Gakpo's performing well. It's not like Ben Doak, where no matter what Diaz does.
the club's plan when they originally buy a player. I'll give you an example. Let's say we had got Zubimendi this summer. Zubimendi automatically would have started the season. Let's be honest. He would have started the first game against Ipswich. He would have
Because we
started the
haven't got a
season.
6. Because we haven't got a 6 though. We've got
Then
5.
you
We
seem
had
happy
4
enough with
forwards. We had
Gravenberch,
5 forwards. We had 5
also-
forwards. We had 5 forwards.
I know. I just think if we'd have signed Anthony Gordon with the money, he would have just started straight away. Personally,
what I will say, Ryan, is that even if he would have started the first game of the season or not started, really that's irrelevant, right? Because what we need is we want someone who's going to come in and perform consistently in that position.
I agree.
If they miss the first day, if they miss the first game or two, and they come in game 5 and kill it for the rest of the season,
Didn't I tell you that
because they need some
like to hold the bench? Told you.
Wait. Say that
What did you
again.
say, bro? I didn't know.
Soboslai would have been the guy to hold the bench if we bought Zubimendi.
Nah, I just don't think. I think Gravenberch would have been the one, if I'm being honest with you.
Nope. I think it would have been Gravenberch and Zubimendi together, and then McAllister ahead of them.
No.
Or
way.
No, I
McAllister
actually think Slot. I think Soboslai.
The way that Slot uses
Soboslai,
Soboslai, he's probably the only player that can do that because he's the one that's also.
I think he's actually quite big for this team, Soboslai. I'll be
everything
honest,
that we saw Gravenberch do in that Man United game. If I actually unlock him and bring him further forward, he would do that. He would do it to an even more beneficial level to the team.
Husam, go and look at the heat map. Gravenberch was the highest midfielder. He was higher than Soboslai.
Well, all the ball
yeah.
carrying, everything that him dribbling with the ball, him
What
creating
player,
chances in the final third, him playing the ball in behind, all that shit he could have done.
But it's
like
very.
further forward.
That's my main issue because he's such a very situational player. That's why he did well. He did well in the Etihad because he had so much space to run into. He would do well at Old Trafford because of just how big that pitch is. He has so much running room.
No, but his progressive passing is class as well. Like
but that's not his best attribute. His best attribute is
doesn't
running.
mean it's his best attribute. Like, he's very good at it. Like
no, that is his best attribute. His best attribute is ball carrying.
No. I'm not saying it. I think his ball carrying is his best attribute. I'm not denying that, but that doesn't mean his progressive passing is also not excellent. It's very good.
I did not say that. I did not say that. But I said this on the terrace as well.
Fucking tactical mid-off, progressive passing, ball carrying.
Bro, it is, bro. Gravenberch is my guy.
I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, I'm Gravenberch.
Fucking tactical mid-off over here.
I backed Gravenberch for over a year continuously. Whilst all you frauds doubted him, I backed him continuously. Even Ram will back me up when I say that.
No, you're also the player that said that you should sell McAllister after 2 weeks of seeing him.
So don't ask Ram for backup. Never ask Ram for backup.
Right,
we all know this.
All right,
he'll stab you in the back, man.
As flawless. He will back me up in this Gravenberch thing. I backed him continuously. When everyone was doubting him, I backed him. And he's repaying me back. I love to see it.
What my point is, though, right?
You want him sold? Is that
just,
the case?
just to make it simple.
McAllister
was bought for like what 35 million, right?
Oh,
Still,
okay,
right? Gravenberch was bought for the same amount of money. You already know. You knew like that. Obviously, based on that, you couldn't just. If you're looking at the value, you wouldn't know what player is going to start or not. But you do that. McAllister came in, and you knew that Klopp, like obviously, was a player that wanted him, and the squad number that was given. I'm saying that with a Chiesa, when you got someone like that coming in, of course, you're going to have to go and earn your spot to get into the first team. It's not like Liverpool don't have any wingers. It's not like we've got Ben Doak on the wing. Do you know what I mean? Playing left wing. But what I'm saying is, if he comes in and does amazing in training and then comes into the team and does outstandingly well, like Fabinho did, like Robertson did, he will keep his spot. And I think that, and that's what it is. But he hasn't come in to just be a backup. So if he comes in and scores a hat trick on his debut because Salah's rested or God forbid, touch wood, but Salah's got an injury, right? It's not that that's still Salah's position because he could go and carry on scoring goals. Then that's how it should be. And I think that's why the Chiesa signing's a good one. It's not just buying a random winger just so we can have loads of wingers. You buy a winger that can go and be a starter.
By the way, the technical quality that he is good enough to play in the starting 11. It's just whether he stays fit. It's never been about his quality. I felt this Chiesa signing was very similar to what Klopp did and Edwards did when they signed Jota. Jota did not come in to be a backup player. He wanted to start. And he didn't end up starting because Firmino had a bad run.
He wasn't going to come in and automatically from the start take one of that purchase places.
The Chiesa purchase is low risk, right? You buy him for 12 million. Yeah. What's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is he doesn't play and we can sell him for 10 million, 8 million. Right, the risk reward on that is
I think if he'd have signed
if he bangs, then obviously we can sell him for a lot more or we keep him, and I'm not going to say take over from Mo, but he becomes a valuable member of our first team or of our squad, just like Jota has.
Fuck my life, man. Anyway,
but at the same time, I don't think we should put all our hopes in the possibility of Chiesa coming in and banging and becoming a first team starter. Because there's question marks.
You know what it is though? I think Husam, I know you've been slightly critical of the Chiesa sign, but I think it's more like if we decided.
Who was critical? I just sang the Italian national anthem. I said it's a smart signing.
No, but you said
I'm talking about the transfer window generally. The transfer window generally is
winger.
Not Chiesa.
No, but what I'm saying is, I think if we'd have brought Zubimendi, everyone would have been so happy with the Chiesa.
Why? Because we needed a DM.
It's just that Chiesa happened to be our only signing.
Right.
Yeah,
If we
because we needed a DM for 3
years,
years, Raiyan.
It would be a different story.
Even with Zubimendi only, I still wouldn't have been happy. Been happy.
Yes, because we need a centre back.
What if we sign Charlotte back?
He's overrated, man.
It
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who we sign, as long as the manager signs a defender that he wants. Cool. You know what I mean? It's the fact we didn't get them in.
Honestly, big up back regardless. Anyway, big up to all of you guys. I've kept you guys for too long already. Let me just read these super chats for get out of here. Guys, we are almost at 300 likes. Let's get there. We're just literally 18 likes away. Everyone, please do like the video. Everyone, please do subscribe. 10 likes now away from 300 likes. Let's get there as we're live. And yeah, love to all of you guys. This has been one hell of a stream, man. This has been absolutely incredible. So love to all of you guys and everyone who supported the channel as well. Big up to my guy, Katsan. Says none of them are signing. The sporting director prefers to play Mario Kart on his laptop than sign players. Hey, this is
true, man. Zubimendi January, we will be there. Just saying.
I beg, please.
You did Richard
I'm just saying, bro. I genuinely think we'll go back in for Zubimendi.
You disgusting fraud, Raiyan Ornstein over here.
And that's my opinion. I'm just saying my opinion. I believe we will go back. I'm not saying we're going to sign him. I say, in my opinion, I think we will go back in for Zubimendi in January.
There's an old saying, Raiyan, never go back to your ex. I'm just saying that.
Bro, Raiyan does not apply that old saying.
Bro, you do know the reason our fans getting onto Zubimendi for rejection is exactly the same stuff that we'll be begging Trent to stay at Liverpool for. Because let's be honest, Real Madrid is an upgrade for any player. They're the biggest club in the world.
Ryan, Zubimendi's made his bed, so it's fine. Move on.
They emotionally blackmailed the guy, bro. I'll be honest.
Fucking mountains of San Sebastian. Cat Sunday, we will be there to cook Raiyaan. Don't worry about it. Big up to you. Big up to Adamson, who says a big up. Disagree. Raks Mo, when asked, cares more about the Champions League. So if he can join Madrid with a reduced salary but gets to play in the Champions League, he'll take the payout. I agree with this, and I think he starts for them as well. Shamelessly earlier on, people claiming he doesn't start. He's obviously better than fucking Rodrigo. So he does start for them. And everyone for them is just on the left-hand side anyway. So they do need a right winger. Because when you watch the heat maps, they're all drifting towards the left. And no one's on the right. The right is yo, hi, anyone here? So I think that would be a place he could actually make it as well. And
Mo is one of the best players in the world. And he could potentially play for any team. My question is, what happens between now and next season? Maybe if Madrid give him saying we're only going to give you a year-by-year contract, is Mo still interested in going there? For example, Madrid does that fit into their recruitment strategy? In my opinion, it doesn't seem like it. They did sign the defender from Chelsea, who was kind of getting on a little bit, but what's his name? Rudiger.
Thiago Silva.
No, Rudiger.
Oh, Rudiger.
But still, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm just saying there's a very limited number. There's a very
Chelsea centre back who was getting on
teams who can pay, but there's a very limited pool of teams who can pay him even 200 grand a week. How many?
Bayern, Real Madrid, PSG, Barcelona, all of these.
Sure, okay. So I agree, but that is still a very limited pool. Barcelona, they couldn't even register Daniel Olmo until 10 minutes before the window closed.
They'll just pull a lever again.
But yeah, Bayern Munich possibly. But again, I mean, maybe not. It could work. I don't know. It's a question mark. I still think. I don't think it's a given.
After a good loan, we feel Doak is ready incoming. Connor Bradley to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold. Bro, I've already played these games.
If you just saw what the contract thing,
alone, man.
Bro,
leave it out, man. I've already played this game with Fenway Sports Group and Liverpool Football Club. I know how we fucking operate. Let's not sit up here. People go oh yeah, sell him and get Kudus. That's
no. But with the contract thing, all it is, Salah and Virgil will stay. Trent, I don't know. That's what will happen.
Big up Nostradamus. Big up to Kat Sander, who says LFC will probably sign Albert, Mike, Buzz, Tabang, and Vel as the new signings. Get ready to make tunes for them all. Imagine Vel as our starting DM. He can't even spell subscribe properly. Imagine how he can be. He can't even spell.
Like that.
Do you guys know this reference? Oh wait,
That was hilarious. That was hilarious. Have you seen it, Raks?
No. What was this?
Oh, I think Husam's going to bring it. I think he's going to bring it.
Oh, you know
my
what?
God.
The one missing piece rack right above me is a banner for my channel. Let me show you this incredible banner. Look at this. Welcome to Don Husam. Boom. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to
The worst
channel.
thing about it, is as well, is Husam didn't know. Someone in the chat had to point it out.
Oh no!
What? Yo,
So he had debuted it. He debuted the banner. Was like, look how good the banner is. It's gonna go right here. It's gonna go right here. And he pulls it out. He pulls it out, and then he puts it down. And he reads. I mean, it's a super chat came in and said, "Man can't even subscribe," and he goes, "What? No, Vel, you fucking moron."
Thank you, Val. The guy gets paid.
What a guy. You know?
Only guy that gets paid more than him on YouTube is Skull Thuggery. Big up, like and subscribe, you guys. Big up to Vincent, who says we got Slot as the real Cruyff disciple. Creatively changes tactics depending on the opponents. Eric Ten Hag was more static in tactics with Ajax. I hear it, to be honest with you. And listen, tactically, as long as look, you know what it is. I don't want to do the Ainge and the Spurs fan thing where we just sit up here and just overdo it because it's been 3 fucking games. So we can do Slot prop without me saying he's the next Cruyff. Like, I'm gonna do Slot prop.
Nah,
I'm not gonna go over the top.
No, but there's difference.
I get to be after 3 games. He's the next
calm
Cruyff.
down. Calm down. Calm down. He's the next Johan Cruyff.
You're not gonna
No,
calm
it's not
down.
even that.
I'll tell you
heard
why.
a lot
We have
of
way
Dutch
better
people
players
say
than
all that stuff.
Tottenham. We have way better players than Tottenham, and so Slot seems tactically flexible and just is too stubborn, man.
But it's
With
not
his
even that.
high
It's
line
like-
and all that crap.
But I cannot say next Cruyff already. I can't.
No,
I'm
but
sorry.
Yeah,
Sam,
that's a
it's not
bit
even,
too
it's not
far
even
still,
that.
yeah.
It's the fact that loads of Dutch people are saying it. Not even like
Yeah,
final
they
fans.
they
Like, you
really
got
rate him.
SC20s fans saying the exact same thing. It's like there's a huge
You know
difference
20
between.
fans from where?
I've got Dutch friends.
Yeah.
Thank University. I knew a couple of Dutch
He's
people.
got a pen pal who's Dutch.
This guy has like 3 Dutch friends, and now he's generalizing the Dutch people. It's crazy.
Of course.
Big up to you. Vincent, time will tell. You could be right, but I'm just going to be patient. It's 3 games. Daily reminder that it's funny because throughout the whole summer when I was saying, listen, we need to sell him, we need to get rid of him.
He won't
They
be
were
here in a year.
Arne Slot is going to let Nunes cook. Wait and see under the new manager. Let him get a chance. 3
Slot
games.
will unleash Darwizzy. Slot will
Yeah, he's gonna
unleash
get
Darwizzy.
unleashed. Yeah, he hasn't even fucking
So he'll
played.
be even worse under Slot than he was under Klopp.
Fact. One Arsenal player from every position to start for Liverpool. Also, Sam, I'm not a City fan anymore. 115 is scaring me, and City will not. So there you are.
Oh, that's
There you
Hamza.
are. There you are.
Wait, is that actually Hamza?
That's obviously
Hamza's
not Hamza.
Obviously,
No.
Hamza's not in Canada, innit? So that's
Oh,
not
yeah.
Hamza.
You
Hamza could be
idiot,
anywhere.
honestly.
I don't know.
Oh.
Arsenal
This
players
Ram
that
guy.
start for Liverpool probably Saliba,
Rice.
Rice.
No.
I don't
no.
think he's out of the slot.
Odegaard will start.
Odegaard would start. I don't think Rice would.
Saka left wing.
Yeah, maybe not Rice, because Rice can't progress with football, innit?
Yeah, Saka left wing.
Wait, get that English Leon Goretzka out of my team, bro. I don't want
Oh,
that guy near
yeah,
my
that's
team.
facts.
You were loving
That
them
is
off,
facts, bro. Oh.
Ram. You were loving them off.
Ram,
last
I
season.
worked
Don't
with you
do
long
this.
enough. You like Leon Goretzka. You don't even
Yeah,
dislike
now
him.
I don't.
Exactly.
He's shit.
Ram, he loves the German players, man. It'll be some obscure
No, it's only
German
Joshua
player.
Kimmich now. Joshua
Schlotterbeck and
Kimmich,
all
that's
these,
it.
man, yeah.
Joshua
Oh, I
Kimmich,
take
that's it.
Calafiori.
Still
I take
living off that one. You're
Calafiori.
Well, that was about 8 years ago.
Gravenberg in the 6 is a 16 out of 10. He has been so far.
Bro,
this season,
man
to be fair.
in the 6 is a 20 out of 10, bro. Ryan Gyro Gravenberch, bro. 20 out of 10 in the midfield, bro.
Is it Gyro or Giro?
I say Gyro, me. That's what I say. I say Gyro.
I'd assume
like-
it's Giro because he's Dutch, innit?
Yeah.
I don't know how the Dutch language works, bro. Like,
There you are. There you are. Vel is like Nunez, makes the hard stuff look easy and the easy look hard. He made this beautiful thumbnail today. He does a lot of good graphic design for the channel, but he can't even spell subscribe. You get
when
me?
does Nunes make the hard stuff look easy? He doesn't do anything. Like, he
Yeah.
doesn't do anything good. This guy's awful. Like, genuinely.
It's crazy
He got a
how
brain.
Slot was gonna unlock him. He don't even play. That's the
Bro,
fucking
you need
hilarious.
a brain to
He
play
did
under
play.
Slot. Nunes don't have that. Like, yeah.
Husam, he did
And
play
listen,
some-
on that note, we're gonna wrap it up here. Man said you need a brain to play other Slot. He don't have that. That's
Nunes doesn't have
a
it,
bar
bro.
to end it right there. Big up to all of you guys. This has been one hell of a stream. Big up to Rak, big up to Ram, Raiyan, JJ as well. Big up to you, Jerry. Big up to Terence, Will, Professor Hamza. Big up to Vincent, Royal, Katsande, Jack, Adamson, Ad, Stumple Lion, Wouter, Josh, Dinesh, Ed for the super chats. Big up every single super chatter. Please do make sure you guys are liking the video. Do make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel. If you are yet to do so, please do hit the like button, do subscribe. We have overtaken 300 likes, so thank you guys so much. Yes, we did forget Newcastle. You know why? Because that's over a year ago. That's August 2023. It's September 2024. Get a grip. Anyway, make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing. All these guys' channels is in the description as well. Ram stand, Raks, Twitter is in the description. Raiyan, you can find him on Sarcasm City TV getting bullied. And you can find the Jerry James show as well in the description. Go subscribe to all these guys. I might be back tomorrow. I haven't planned anything yet. You get me? We plan it as the day goes by. Love you all and peace out.